Good day, everybody. Welcome back to our DC-3s over England series. Today is the last episode of this particular series. Next week we'll be starting something new. I'll talk more about that once we're up in the cruise. But we're here up at Shoreham. Not Shoreham. I keep saying that. Sherburn. Up east of Manchester and Leeds. And we're heading down south of the Bristol Channel, down to Honiton. And we've got some weather on the way. It'll be interesting to see what we get. We're going to go up to 10,000 feet, and we're on live weather. We've rolled the time back, so it's daylight. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning now. Yeah, we'll see what the weather is like. And Brian, you have a good meeting. Hope you enjoy. So Kevin's going to be flying along with us. If we pop in to the cockpit and then come back out, we may see him. Not sure where he's parked or if he's in yet, but said he was running a few minutes behind. So we'll jump into the cockpit and start getting set up, and hopefully he'll get in pretty much in time. I'm going to add a little bit of fuel just for my own comfort level. So we're going to go up to a 70% fuel load. And there we go. So we can start getting the aircraft set up. Back doors are open, so we can close those. There we go. We'll come up top here. We'll hook up the battery cart. And we'll throw the position lights on so people know we're in here. And we can get ready to get her up and running. So using Manchester weather, since there's no weather reporting for here, it says winds are 190 at 7, and few clouds around scattered, and 999 for the barrel. But looking at the windsock, winds seem to be favoring runway 19, so looks like they're a little bit different here. So we're going to be using runway 19 for our departure today as we head out. Alright, so that is all on. Nav lights are on. I'm going to throw the beacons on as well. We're going to get ready to start going. Now, first thing we're going to do is come down here. We're going to turn the engines over onto the main tanks. There's the left engine, and there is the right engine is on the right main, so that is all good. We'll set our fuel gauge over to the left main, and they are identical for both sides. So we're good there. Alright, so we're going to get the propellers fully forward, and we're going to start left engine first. We'll bring the mixture up to auto rich. I'm going to crack the throttle. And we should be good to get ready to start. So push in the master power, turn the mags to both, turn the generator on so it's ready, boost pump for the right engine coming on. We're going to start energizing the right engine. Some people out there watching us here. There she is coming up. So we're going to engage the starter and then hit the prime. Hopefully we'll get a good start. There we go. Pressures are all starting to come up, so as the engine starts to warm up and the cylinders are catching, we'll see the manifold pressure coming up and the RPMs coming up. And look outside here. There she is. A good start going there. So we'll bring that one up a little bit more, get her up to that 1000 RPM. Start warming up. Alright, let's get the left engine up and going. So, mixture to auto rich, propeller fully forward, crack the throttle about halfway. There she is. She's starting to warm up, so we'll ease that back a little bit. There we go. We'll come up top, generator on, boost pumps on. We'll start energizing the left engine. Yeah. She is bouncing around a little bit. Alright, the tone has come steady, so mags to both. Meshing on the left and prime. There she goes. Nice smoky start there. Come back down. She should start to warm up as well, and then we can leave the engine sitting at about 1,000 RPMs, and they will start to warm up nicely. We can see the cylinder head temperature is low, oil temperature is low. And there she's starting to come up now. Alright, so both engines are up and going. We can turn on the rest of the stuff here. We're going to switch over to internal battery. We'll disconnect the battery cart, turn on our avionics, and pitot heat on, windshield heat on. That is all good. Turn the cockpit lights on, it's a little bit dark out. Alright, everything is starting to wind up, so we'll set our barrel. And we are good there. Now we're going to come up top and dial in our stuff here. So, radio's on 122.8. Again, not that we use it. I do have Discord set up, and Kevin will be on there in a minute. So, our first nav aid is the Trent VOR. Just going to pull up the information here. 1157. That is our first one. And then we're going through 3 NDBs. The first one is VHX, and that is a frequency of 406. So we'll dial that in. 406, and when we get close, that should appear down here on the radio compass. So our initial heading when we take off is we're going to come around to 207 degrees. So we're going to scroll down here just to give us a rough heading estimate. 210, 207 will be about there. So that is nicely set, and we're going to want to dial this around to about 207 as well, as that is going to be for the VOR, the first VOR we are flying to. Yeah, I've done that before. So 207 will be about there for when we get to it. And the radio compass should be 196. As we head to it from the Trent VOR. So we'll just dial that around as the engines keep warming up. There's 180, 190, about 196 will be about there. Alright, so cowl flaps are open, windows are closed on both sides. Fuel is good. And we are all good. Up here, props are good, radios, frequencies, transponder, all set. comms, generators, boost pumps we'll leave on until we're in the air. Alright, and if we come down to our temperatures and pressures, temperatures are coming up nicely, pressures are all looking good. And as mentioned, we are expecting some weather as we move into about halfway through the flight. I'm going to tune in now our heading, which we're going to be looking at 207. Be somewhere around there, and we're going to dial up. Kevin, I'm wasting time here for you. All right. So there's that windsock. We're going to start our taxi out now. So Sherburn traffic. Fox Zulu 6902 taxiing runway. I'm not even sure what is it. 01 via Alpha. So brakes are on. We're going to hold the stick back, just prevent that tail from popping up. A little bit of power. We are in the grass. It's going to hold us slightly. There we go. Watch we don't hit the little cirrus over here. Or diamond, not sure which one it is. And we'll use the brakes just to control our speed. See the windsocks are all over the place here. So as we come down here to 01, since traffic's clear, we're going to do our run-ups today. Something I usually don't bother doing, but we'll do it here. So we'll get kicked around. So we're facing the right direction. Pretty much into the wind. There we go. All right. So we're going to come on board. Parking brakes are set. We're going to bring the engines up to 1800 RPM, or well, 50. I'm not sure what it is on the DC-3. We'll go to 1500 RPM. We'll see how she is, if she's holding. Yeah, she's holding. We'll bring her up to 1800 RPM, and we're going to hold at about 1800 RPM. So what we're going to do is on the right side first, we are going to go right mag only. We should see a slight drop in the RPM. Yeah, and you can hear it. We'll go back to both, and she should pick up. That's good. And we're going to go the same down to the left mag. Should get that slight drop. Now there's a number that you use that should add up. I know in the Cessna 172s it was no more than 100 and about 100 RPM drop and about a 50 RPM difference in the two of them. So we'll check on the left side. That's good. Bring that back up. And then we'll do the left mag. Alright, so both mags are working and are working properly. So now we're going to check the carburetor heat. And that is over here. So if we pull carb heat, oh, not seeing anything. There we go. You can see the drop. So this is introducing hot air from the exhaust shroud into the carb to melt any ice that would form. So if you get moisture in the air, that's going in through the carburetor because of the Bernoulli principle and the Venturi's. Temperature can go below zero and you get freezing and ice buildup.
Sherburn traffic, I think, when I go ready to check.
Loud and clear.
Thank you very much.
Alright, so there's that side. We got a little bit of a drop there. Come right back. There we go. That's the drop we're looking for. And we'll bring that fully forward. So carb heat is working. That is great. And we'd see that over here if the engine started to run rough. I don't know if it's modeled in here or not, but if the engine started to run rough when we were losing RPM on it, we could add carb heat and that would melt the ice that's inside there. Now what we're going to do is the propellers, and what you do is cycle the props. So we're going to start with the left side first. We'll bring that all the way back to coarse pitch, and we'll see the RPM drop, and the engine will be struggling against it, and the oil pressure will drop as well. And we'll bring that fully forward. You can hear them coming back up. And what you basically do is you do this 3 times, and what this is doing is it's cycling the oil through the hub, moving the propeller around, and it is getting old, cold, thick oil out and bringing in hot, cool oil in, or hot, thin oil to allow for the props to properly cycle. So we'll do one more. Good drop. Bring it back up. And that is good. So we're going to do it on the right side. We'll come out so we can listen to it. You'll hear it. There she goes. You see the prop slowing down. Come bring her back forward. So you can see those 2 windsocks pointing in different directions. It's crazy. There's the second cycle. And third cycle. Alright. So that's coming back up. So that's all good. So now what we're going to do is bring the engines down to 1,000 RPM. And there we go. So that's a nice idle position. Normally we take it right down to close the throttles and make sure the engines don't quit. But we're good with that. So we're going to turn on our landing lights, and that is set. Everything is set up top, and pitot heat's on. Windshield heat is on. A little bit of illumination on the panel lights is good. Boost pumps are on. And we are good to go. Hey, Song Wang. No, this is Microsoft Flight Simulator, not X-Plane 11. If it's putting that up in the YouTube description, I don't know why it's doing that. I haven't been able to figure that one out. Anyway, we're ready to go here, so we're going to go to 1/4 flaps. And we're good to go. Sherburn area traffic. Fox Zulu 6902, departing runway 01, left turn out at Sherburn. Alright, brakes are set. Parking brake released. Engines coming up. We'll bring the engines to 1500 RPM before we release. Oh, thanks for the sub there, Songwang. Appreciate it. And brakes are released. And we are off. Power up to 40% or 40 inches. MD Rizwan, hello. Get the nose forward. controlling it. I think we should have had more flaps. So Kevin, you might want to go to half flaps. All right, well, we're up. Let's get the gear up. We'll get the nose down, get her climbing a little bit better. There we go, coming up for 80. Buffeting will stop. And we're going to climb up to 2,000 feet. We're going to bring the manifold pressure back to 40, props back to 25. There's 400 feet. Reset the props to 25, 40 inches. Well, we're 500 feet. We'll start our turn now. Flaps coming up. Again, we're going up to 10,000 for today's flight. And we're turning basically on course at roughly 207 degrees. Away, thank you. There we go. All right. So we're going to set ourselves up for the climb out. Our gyros are aligned. I'm going to hold this rough heading. We'll turn everything on. There we go, there's the airport. Might have been better to take off on the longer one, but really neither of them are that long. I knew it was going to be a challenge getting in there with this airplane. Alright, so we want to climb a little bit more. Just in time to see you stall. Updated the Ducksworth model. Looks like it didn't install right, so back on default. Oh no. That doesn't sound good. Alright, so let's get our speed down to about 130 or so for the climb out. And we will bring ourselves around a little bit more. Let's get that turned in. There we go. We're now pretty much coming up on course. Where we want to be, and there's that weather closing in. So Kevin, are you going to make the flight, or what are your plans there, since it's not working properly for you right now? So as we come up to 4,000 feet, we're sitting good, tracking along nicely. I'm going to tune in a little bit of music as we're going. And let's go with this. You're up. Oh, you're fine to default though. Okay. Alright, speed's coming down a little bit, so we're going to start nosing forward. Keep that 120. And we're going to keep adjusting back to 40 inches and 2,500 RPMs. There we go. This could be interesting with the weather, as mentioned. Through 5,000 feet. We'll turn the landing lights off. We can now turn the boost pumps off since the engines are at power. And everything else is looking good. There's us climbing out. See Kevin behind us. There he is. 3,300 and climbing. Excellent. So again, live weather, this is the effects I like. You don't get these with the presets, so should be interesting to see what we run into here. May have to turn on the anti-ice. That'd basically be our prop de-icer and our wing de-icers. We'll see. Now, does this thing have an outside temperature gauge? Take a look. Not seeing one. De-icing pressure. Oh, there's our temperature gauge down there. Scoot over to get a look. So it's about 2 degrees right now. So if we do get into clouds, we are going to have to turn on the icing, or anti-icing. Alright, so we're dropping below 120 again. So there's our power coming down. So I'm now full throttle as we pass 6,500 feet. See how far down. If I get below 30 inches on the manifold, I'll have to bring in the boost. So just going to ease our climb rate slightly just to keep that speed up. And it's 47 miles down to the next waypoint. 7,000 feet. We just passed over the town of Pontefract, and the next major town we're coming up to, I think, is Rotherham, or Rotherham. Definitely going to be flying into the clouds here. Now, it was reporting rain at our destination as well, so it'll be interesting to see what we end up with. Now 0 degrees. Just wind down the climb rate slightly. There we go, we're down to 35 inches of manifold pressure. I want 30 and 20 for my cruise. Should be able to get 30 inches. Alright, we're about 1,000 to go. Bring that down a couple clicks now. Start speeding up a little bit. Watch for signs of icing on the wings and on the props. Flying into a bit of a wind. I'm showing 120 miles an hour and we're showing 100 ground speed, so a little bit of a headwind here. Here we come for our altitude of 10,000 feet. Just going to keep rolling our gyro pilot forward to start trimming for a higher speed, which will make us flatten our climb until we can level off, roughly. Foxtrot Zulu 692 has reached cruising altitude 10,000 feet. There we go, 10,000. Just keep edging that forward until our speed gets set. A little bit of moisture in the air there. Alright, so as we settle in, we will go trail on the cowl flaps, so they'll start to automatically adjust to keep proper temperature on the engines. And we're going to set our fuel to our auxiliary tanks. So our left engine will go to left auxiliary, and our right engine will go to right auxiliary. And we'll switch over to the left auxiliary so we can see how much fuel we have. They're about equal on both, and they'll be burning pretty much the same amount on both sides. Alright, so now that we're leveled off in cruise, I'm going to bring the power back to 30 inches. I'm going to bring the RPMs back to 20 inches, or 20,000, 2,000, what am I talking about? 2,000. That's kind of like our cruise mode. And then once they are set at 2,000 RPM, we'll reset 30 inches. And there we go. Cruise power is set. And now we just watch our altitude and trim as required to keep it at that 10,000 foot. Keeping an eye for icing. Technically, I think I've got it turned off. If we run into the big clouds, we'll turn it on. So we'll turn it on now. Prop and wing de-icer on. We can see our de-icing pressure is up. It may steal a little bit of power from the engines, but I think we'll be fine. Alright, and it's Rotherham down here. As mentioned, we're on our way to the Trent VOR. And we're pretty much tracking on course for it. Almost, except for this little bit here, we're almost between two layers. Which is pretty cool. Alright, see the arrow pointing to the VOR. We're slightly off track. A slight adjustment. Just heading a little bit more towards it. There we go. You can see we're still climbing a little bit, so I'm going to go slightly downwards, get us back towards that 10,000. And away we go. So I was mentioning this is the last of the DC-3 flights. Starting next week, we are moving to the US. And what we're going to do is we are going to visit all 48 states and their capitals. So there's 48 states, what they call the lower 48 or the contiguous US. So not including Alaska, not including Hawaii. We're going to visit all 48 state capitals, and we're going to be doing it in another classic old airplane. This time it's going to be the Boeing 247D, one of the very first airliners. Another twin-engine radial piston aircraft. Yeah, so some of the legs are sort of short, depending if you're on the East Coast, where the states are small. Some of them are a bit longer if you're out in the West Coast, where the states are bigger. But we've got a course, and we're going to start that next Wednesday. And we're going to fly from state to state. Should be good. We'll be flying not live, well, we'll fly live weather unless it's really bad, because this aircraft really has no instrument flying capabilities, and I mean, extremely rudimentary radio navigation. Doesn't even have NDV tracking, ADFs, VORs, none of that. So it's going to be basically landmarks and time and distance. Which is why we want to have at least semi-decent weather as we're flying. Alright, we are back to 10,000 feet, 180 knots. Or 180 mile an hour indicated, 161 knot ground speed by the looks of it, so we are chugging along. Unfortunately, into the wind a little bit. Well, we get some nice views. We're still slightly off. Of course, here we're going to turn a little bit more westward. try to correct this. A little bit of a drift we have going here. Skirting the little cumulus buildup we have going on. And now we're below 10,000 feet. Bring the nose up a little. Oh, look at that. Got a nice rainbow. That's a nice view. Oh, she's a double. Let's see the other one. Not sure if it's coming out on the stream, but there's a second rainbow. Looking good. We're back out in the open. Turn off the de-icers. Just keeping an eye, monitoring, watching our fuel. 130 gallons at the moment. Fly by the little bit of a build-up here. Keep it off to the right side. Of course, inside the build-ups like this, you've got convection, and that'd be a pretty good updraft going on in there. So we're coming up to the Trent VOR. Now we're going to be heading to the BHX NDB, which is at the Birmingham Airport. So we're going to be overflying the Birmingham Airport. Not picking it up yet. That's okay. So we're going to fly a heading of 196 off of the VOR here. So if we bring this around to about here. Something like that. It's not accounting for wind drift. But we'll use this to fly out the other side as we head away from the VOR, and hopefully we'll pick up the NDB. Not sure what the range on that is. It's less than 25 watts, so it's a low range NDB. But we'll be okay to fly the heading. Alright, so going over to 196. Go there. We're gonna head down over this way. Our destination airport has a fairly large runway, thankfully. A little bit clearer skies. I'm going to go off mic for a little bit. I'll give you the music, and we'll just keep monitoring as we go. I got a call I've got to make, so we'll be back shortly. All right, we're back. See how we're doing? Everything is looking good. Hey, we're bringing in the beacon now, so we can adjust to make sure we're flying directly towards it. So this wants us to head a little bit more south, so we'll do that. Do about a 10-degree change, and we're going to bring ourselves more in line with that. And you can see we're still flying away from the beacon. Altitude is holding pretty good. We're about 10,300, and we're still 30 and 20. Fuel is just below the 130 gallons. Temperatures are all looking good, and we are clear of clouds, so another little buildup over that way. So we're heading down towards Birmingham now. We go another 2 clicks over. Should have us heading right towards it. So Kevin, how you doing back there? Everything going well? Let's try to see if I can see you before I turn on your tags. Nope. Oh, you're way off there. Okay. Very good. A little bit too far. I don't quite see your aircraft. So we are on multiplayer. This is the Northern Europe server for multiplayer, the one I play on. And if you want to come along and join us, Wednesdays and Sundays are multiplayer flights. Mondays, Tuesdays, Friday, Saturday are all VATSIM flights. But you're more than welcome to come and join us. Information is posted on the Discord. Flight times, what we're flying, where we're flying is all posted there. As well, if you're new to Flight Sim or if you need help with any aircraft or maps or anything, you can always come in and ask us at on the Discord as well. The link is in the chat. You can also find it in the description of the videos, both on YouTube and on Twitch. Next time we're flying after today will be Friday. We're flying Aurora, based out of Vancouver, and we're doing a turnaround flight on Friday, so we'll be flying Vancouver to Seattle and then back to Vancouver. Weather is looking better than I thought it would be, actually. So after we cross over Birmingham, we have the Gloucestershire NDB of 331. We'll dial that one in. What we'll do is we'll go on to the heading of 215, and then we'll track outbound from the beacon we have behind us. So we'll dial this to 215. Like so, and then we'll make sure the needle is pointing directly behind, and that'll have us heading out the correct way that we're going to want to go. So I'll set that up now, since we know roughly we're on our way into the Birmingham one. Birmingham is like, well, there it is there. It's all down there. And as mentioned, we're going to be flying overhead the airport. But yeah, definitely got rain over here, over there. But as I said, it's looking better than it was supposed to look, than I thought it was going to look. So there's the airport. It's got one runway. Well, that's a bit of a tongue twister. One runway. once we pass by, we'll head off on the new direction. And carry on. This is pre-World War II airliner here. Oh, big bank of cloud over that way. So this is what it was like. You had to fly somewhere, you were on board one of these. Most people would take the train. It was very expensive to be flying. See the needle starting to come around. So I'm going to dial in the heading we want, which is 215. And then we'll be getting on course. There's 21. There's 215. Alright, we're now heading off to Gloucestershire, or as people unfamiliar with it might say, Gloucestershire. Or people really unfamiliar with it would say Gloucestershire, same as when they say with Worcestershire sauce, Worcestershire. Not saying the names are easy that they have, but yeah, it can be tricky. Anyway, we are going to cross the bottom of Birmingham, down about Solihull, and then Redditch, and then off towards Gloucestershire. See the needle slowly coming around as we fly away from it, the NDB now. Still picking up the VOR, which I find pretty amazing. It's funny, along this route there wasn't a lot of nav aids. But unless I wanted to extend off the route pretty far. That looks a little bit threatening over that way, and we're heading right for it. So this might be the weather we're going to pick up as we head in. So I'm using Cardiff. It's on the other side of the Bristol Channel, but it'll give us the current weather. So currently at Cardiff, well, as of 40 minutes ago, winds were 220 at 5, 10 miles of visibility, light rain, scattered clouds at 2,200 feet, which is fine. That is more than good enough for an approach and landing. The airport that we're heading to has a couple runways. They have a runway 22, so that'll be a good choice for our landing. If the weather is still there. It's the Duncanswell Airport. So we should be able to get her down, no worries. And Honiton is just south of the airport. Alright, so we are veering off a little bit, so we're going to turn a little bit southwards just to deal with the winds. Kind of pushing us around a little bit. Having to deal with the drift. Speaking of drift, they do model precession on the gyro instruments, so every once in a while you gotta recheck them. I just hit D. They're reset them, but ideally you'd use the free compass up here to reset all your gyro instruments. That's quite the wall up there. Not sure if I got any other views set up in this thing. I just froze. Ooh, didn't like that. So we got a few views. We got out the pilot side looking at the left engine. There's the overhead panel. That's the escape hatch. You can undog that, push it up. The plane crashed and you can climb up the roof. There's looking, hey, rainbows again. There's the right engine. That's the entryway up with some of the old radios and fuse panels. And a view down on the control column, the trim wheel, all that good stuff. And a wing cam. Yeah, I don't have any internal views set up, unfortunately. So it's a 37-mile leg between Birmingham and Gloucestershire NDB. Nautical miles. We're almost halfway through the flight. And 99 miles to go. While I was on the phone, I went and took a look outside. It's 5 degrees and we had rain and snow at the same time. It's early spring weather. Yeah, I love the way it says, do not operate this aircraft in known icing conditions. Well, yeah. Let's turn on the de-ices again. Let's see how we do. Temperature's just below freezing. Which is actually perfect weather because of the airflow over the metal surfaces. It lowers the temperature a little bit, and you can get the moisture easily freezing onto the surface. Yeah, looks like we're heading through some clouds again. Abandoned airfield. Not sure which one that is. That would have been, given the runway layouts, this would have been an old RAF training or operational field. Probably not a bomber field. I don't think the runways are long enough, so probably be a fighter field. Probably use it for industrial purposes now. We got a whole bunch of those types of places over here in Canada, all used for the British Commonwealth Air Training Plan and the training of pilots. little town of Pershore. And then over this way we got Wickham Firth, kind of going right between them. There it is over there. And we're heading into that gray mass. We're starting to climb a little bit, so I'm gonna a couple little down ticks. I think we're getting some updrafts that are starting to push us higher. Get us back down to that 10,000 feet. A little bit of a jump there. So after Gloucestershire, we pick up what would be the Severn River, and it runs down a bit and then heads into the Bristol Channel. But we are getting down to that split where you've got England on the south side of the channel and Wales on the north side. Everything is good. Fuel is looking excellent. And we just lost the radio from that side, so let's dial in on the other one. We want a 311 is the Gloucester NDB. Oh, there's rain. So we're gonna go 3, 1, and 1. And hopefully we'll soon be picking that one up. And we do have our prop de-ice and wing de-ice on. So we're getting not an insignificant push upwards here, so nose down a little bit. See if we can get ourselves back down to 10,000 feet. It's still picking up the VOR. Just came out the other side of that cloud system, but we got another one coming up. Air Atlantique from Fox Zulu 692. Just be advised, strong updrafts ahead of you, and it'll start to push upwards as well, in and out of the clouds with some precipitation.
Roger, and thanks for the little pie rep. We will keep that in mind for Atlantic.
All right. So here is. Let's see if I get the names of these places. Swindon Village. This is Bishop's Cleeve, and there's Swindon Village. And Gloucester, well, it's under the airport. So Gloucestershire Airport is coming up. The town of Gloucester is right beyond it. It sits on the northeast corner of the town, so we are getting close. We're still not picking up the radio. Oh, 331. That's why you double check things. I blame Fred for that one. There we go. 331. And there's the swing, and we're now pointing towards it. Which is very good. sure if we can see it. There's Swindon Village. Gloucester's all down under this rainstorm. We should be flying right overhead the airfield. More rainbows? Oh, rainbows all over the place today. Let's look to see if we can see the airport. Should be kind of right below. Oh, there it is. We're right on top of it. So there's the airport right there. Alright, so the next one is going to be 414. There we go, dialing that in, and it is on a 222 heading. Turn towards that now. Still picking up the Trent VOR. We are going down now, so let's get ourselves back up to 10,000. We lost that updraft. So once we pretty much pass Bristol, which is where we're heading to now, we're going to be slowly starting our descent. But it's not time yet. About 71 miles to go. We want to be about 30 miles out when we start downwards. Airport elevation at the airport is Dunkswell, 839 feet, so we're looking at roughly a 2,000 foot circuit. Some more cloud coming up. Come back a little bit on the manifold pressure. It looks like we've got a little bit of a pressure change outside. And something I forgot to do, which I always forget to do, is bring the engines back into auto lean, so we're not burning more fuel than we need to be. Not a big deal on a short flight, but definitely something crucial for a longer one. Right, into the water. Slowly working our way back up to 10,000. Yeah, 300 to go. Can't see it, but over this way is the Sherburn River, and it turns into the channel, Bristol Channel. And we're heading down towards the Bristol Airport. Been to Bristol? Nice town. Stayed there for a couple days while I was touring around that part of England. It's got a very famous naval or mariner tradition. A lot of stuff based out of there as they headed out to various areas through the channel and into the Irish Sea and in the Atlantic Ocean. Right, now we're back out in the open again. Airspeed's coming back. Just keeping an eye on that. Not sure why we're not really climbing all that much. We do have all the anti-ice on. Oh, there's the channel. See it now that we're coming out of the clouds. So I don't know at what point I think it's this point where it changes from the Sherburn to the Bristol channel, but city of Bristol's over here. We're going to fly over part of it as we head towards the airport. I think data got turned off. Gonna have to stop. Oh, you're just gonna pull over in the sky? Get out, reset your data? So our ground speed's down to 130 knots. Trying to keep us relatively flat. The engines are looking good. Not seeing icing. There's the channel. That's Wales on that side. England on this side. You can actually see the difference in the train. This is all nice and flat, and you can see how lumpy and bumpy this all is out here. Some heavy rains over there. So we're about 25 miles or so from top of descent. Fairly decent cloud. Not like summertime thunderstorms, but enough that we're flying through some rain. Ooh, on the map I see cheddar. Is that the cheddar? The famous cheddar? lost all my data on my map. Interesting. Bristol. It's the river. Heads up into the channel there. Some heavy cloud coming up. So a little weather update. Still rainy. Still winds out of the southwest. Clouds are getting a little, well, not lower, but still down there, and they're now reporting towering cumulus, which are thunderstorms. The Sims internal servers are down. Great. On Navigraph, I lost all my details on cities and everything. I just got my route information up now. That's it. I don't know what's happened there. Well, we're still tracking. We're still on course, as you can see. Kind of heading towards the airport at Bristol. And we're heading back into some of that cloud cover. About 15 miles from top of descent. Again, we're going to ease down to 2,000 feet for the landing. We'll probably overfly the field and then go into a left-hand pattern. Here's the channel. Here's the town of Bristol. There's the river that runs up through it. And the airport's out here somewhere. Alright. We're pretty much over the town now. As mentioned, we're heading to the airport. Oh, your sim's not even come back up. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. I thought you were just gonna go switch it back on. Seems to be more. Well, you're still there. Sort of, I guess. Anyway, there you can see the channel coming in. There's the city of Bristol. Stuck in the apply settings screen. That's not good. And there's the airport. It's right there. So we're going to keep on this heading of approximately 222 degrees and head towards the airport. few other towns we're going to be flying by and over before we get in there. But we're all looking good as we head into the West Country here. Oh, into the clouds again. Got the 10 miles to the top of descent. Everything is looking good. Temperatures and pressures are all good. Fuel's looking good. Fuel pressure is good. Oil pressure is good. RPMs and manifold pressures are right where we want them. A little bit of a climb going on there. As we're coming up to the airport, we can see the needle starting to swing. We're just going to leave it there and we'll be flying away from it now. There we go. We're just flying over the Bristol airport now and you cannot see a thing down there. Can't see much forward either. Solid gray all around us. Oh, you're back up. Oh, excellent. Yeah, I can see your tags moving now. Much better. Anyway, as you can see, the weather ahead's pretty cloudy. Back up to about 170 miles an hour. Cruising along. So as I mentioned, the town of Cheddar is coming up, and I believe that is where the famous cheddar comes from. There is a whole bunch of terrain features around it, so I'm assuming those are the cliffs that they would age the cheddar in. Cheddar is one of my favorite cheeses. Actually, over here I can get a good, lightly smoked with applewood, and oh, it's a beautiful, nice, not a hard crumbly cheddar, a softer cheddar. I really do like it. Alright, so the outside air temperature is still around 0 degrees. Still got the anti-ice on. We're doing about 170 now. And we're coming up for 30 miles out. So we'll start us heading down slowly. Cheddar area traffic. Foxtrot Zulu 692 descending from flight level 100 inbound for Dunkswell Airfield, descending to 2,000 feet. Alright, so we're going to start to head downwards. Hey, clouds are breaking up, so we're going to turn off the gear warning horn because just think it's annoying if I pull the power too far. So we're going to try to aim for about a 400 to 500 foot per minute descent rate. And I'm going to bring the power back to 20 inches, just so we're not rocketing downhill here. There we go. Try to keep that 500 foot per minute rate. Well, it looks like the snow and rain here have stopped. It's rather annoying. Gotta head out after this. I didn't want to be going out into that. It was actually looking like a blizzard out there for a while. We'll leave the fuel on the auxiliary tanks. There's plenty in there. So we're coming up to, let's see, where are we coming up to? Bridgewater. Town of Bridgewater right there. Interesting, there's a little place, where would it be? Off over this way, called Weston Zoyland, which has 5 small little runways around it. I wonder if it's a glider place. Might be. See some of the hills. Starting to see them over here. Look at all the traffic in behind us. Everything is looking good. Not sure how much traffic we got in front of us. Oh, not a lot. Pretty much nothing. Few over that way. There's Bridgewater. We're down to 8,000 feet. So my plan is to come in from the north, cross overhead the field, and go into a left pattern for runway 22. Get a look at the airfield from the air as we come over it. Yeah, all those little runways and stuff are, if you follow this road out, they're all just kind of over here. Oh, there they are. You can see a couple of them right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Interesting little area. Alright. Got some more cloud buildup ahead of us. 18 miles to go. So about to fly over North Petherton. The airport seems to be out in the middle of nowhere. This is Taunton coming up. The airport's off over this way. Alright, so we're going to increase our rate of descent now. I'm going to pull the engines down to 15 inches. Hey Dark, how are you doing today? Try to get her down a little bit quicker. So we're only a few miles, about 10 miles after we cross over here to the airport. Bunch of little airfields in the area here. Some really tiny ones as well, a couple 100-foot strips and stuff. Alright. Oh, you got version 2. How's it look? There's 6,000 feet. We've got 4,000 to go to put us at circuit height again. It's about 1850 or so, or 1850. 850 is the airport elevation. So we're going to want roughly 1,000 feet. So we'll just 2,000 for sake of ease. There's Taunton coming down over it. Kevin's still back there. Not sure how much further back he got pushed. Alright, so there's the highway coming up. Town of Wellington is off over this, well, kind of behind the clouds here. There's 5,000. They've done 2 piers, the rest are empty except control tower. Are they going to finish it, or are they just leaving it like that? It's 4,500 feet. Let's bring us out a little bit. Bring the power back up to 2,000. Okay. So would you recommend it? Maybe just for the performance alone? All right. It's 4,000 feet. Fuel. Fuel's good. Some hills coming up. There's that one airport that's near Smethart. our airport is somewhere just over these hills here. So we're seeing height markers under 1,000 feet, so that's fine. Oh, for VATSIM, yeah. Makes sense. Alright, so we're going to turn a little bit more westward now. Hold at 3,000. Put your warning horn back on. We don't want to mess that up. The airport's over here. Grab a cuppa. How far did you get set back? Just out of curiosity. Oops, I think that's the airport right there. Yes, it is. So there's the airport. You can see we're well high. So we're going to loop around. We'll come around and then we're going to be landing on this runway here for our landing. All right. I'm gonna shut off the autopilot now. Mixture is full rich on both engines. Propellers fine pitch. Landing lights on both sides. Going to do a big circle around as we keep descending. Don't descend too fast though. Alright, speed's coming down to 140. 2,000 feet above. Coming around the back side of the town. Turning off the de-ice. Boost pumps on. See our shadow down there. Very nice. To 2,000 feet. I'm just going to do a big circle around here. Kevin, looks like your aircraft is climbing. come over the other airfield. Swing around. Lots of airfields in this area. So there's that 2,000 feet. Shut the music off. So we're coming around now. Get ourselves lined up. There's the airfield. Alright. Tower coming back. There's the first notch of flaps. Second notch of flaps. Gear down. Third knot. We're going to be going for 80 knots on our approach. Dunkswell traffic, Foxtrot Zulu 692 on final runway 22 Dunkswell. Alright, there's landing flaps. Alright, props fully forward, mixers fully forward, gear down, flaps set, airport's in sight. Completely visual approach. Come over the building at the end and then land it. A little bit of a crosswind. Keep 80 for the approach. A little bit of a displaced threshold here.
Traffic 1 check on leaving flight level 100. Inbound for the runway 22. Dunkswell.
Put her down past the threshold. Winds are pretty much straight down the runway. And we're down. Just keep the tail off. We'll run her down. Ease the tail down. There we go. Tail is down. Welcome to Dunkswell. Let's backtrack. Dunkswell traffic. Fox Zulu 692 backtracking runway 22. I'm not sure where the best parking is here. But we'll head over this side. We'll just go out here in the middle. So, let's get the flaps up. I'll just park her over here in the grass. There we go. All right. Brakes are set. We'll get the engines up to 1,000 RPM. Let them stabilize. Turn the lights off. Position lights can come off. Windshield heat, pitot heat can come off. Shut the avionics off. Boost pumps can come off. One last thing we'll do is open up the cowl flaps. There we go. And we can shut her down. Very nice. So that's done. We can turn generators off. That's all off. That's off. Mags will come off. We'll pull the master. And avionics are off. Beacon is off. Turn off our lights. Put the battery cart on. And switch it over. The back door is opened up. And here we are. Well, thanks for flying, and I hope you enjoyed the series. As I mentioned, next Wednesday, new series starts. We're flying in the U.S., and another classic 2-engine radial aircraft. Take care, everybody. Hope you had a good time. See you on the next one. Bye for now.